Hi, it's Colli. Colli Talks Transformative Conversations. Well, it's Christmas Eve, and I couldn't not send a message out tonight. You know, it's very interesting about this thing called Christmas, about holidays, spending time together. And I want to move towards the importance of cultivating true connection, not just during holidays, but at all times. So, welcome. And this space, as you know, is where we explore growth, self discovery, and especially now the beauty of connection. As you know, I'm Colli. And today, this is especially close to my heart because it is about connection, a topic that feels even more poignant during the holiday season. And yet, for some people, there is no holiday season, right? But for those that experience and are experiencing Christmas and holidays at this moment in time, this is for you, especially about connection. So, while this time of year can be filled with joy, togetherness, and celebration, it can also bring a sense of loneliness or disconnection for many. And whether you're surrounded by people or spending this season quietly, I invite you to reflect with me on what it truly means to connect, first and foremost, with yourself. Yes, with yourself. So many people are scurrying around, busy, 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 and forgetting that they're the most important person in their life. So now I want you to take a moment and breathe. Breathe in. I am my breath. And as you exhale, my breath breathes me. Because really, that is our connection to life, right? Our breath. We're born, we breathe in. We die, we breathe out. It's really quite simple, but it's very, very important to remember that you are your breath and your breath breathes you. So, this is about reflecting on what it truly means to connect, like I said, with yourself and then with others and with life. So, the holidays are often associated with connection, family gatherings, shared meals, exchanging gifts. But what happens when those connections feel out of reach? Maybe you've experienced loss, or maybe life's challenges have made it hard to show up fully in your relationships. I've been there many times. There were moments in my life when I felt completely alone, unsure of how to bridge the gap between my inner world and outer world. And what I've learned during those times is that true connection doesn't start outside of us. It starts within. Now, when I say I've been there too, I was very young when my mom passed away. And I remember my first Christmas without her. Fortunately, I had a very, very loving friend and very amazing companion who, up until his passing in 2006, we remained such amazing friends, soul mates at the deepest level. And he got me through the very first Christmas without my mom. And it's really interesting about that because today, when I was wrapping gifts for my grandchildren, the one thing that he taught me was how to wrap gifts. Even at the age of 15, we would go to his store, well, his parents' store. It was a clothing store, and we would do the decorations, the window displays, which was fabulous. And then we would wrap gifts, and he taught me how to do them meticulously beautiful. And so the connection back to him today was profound. It never goes away. We can always call it up. And just something as simple as wrapping presents today brought him into my life, brought him back to me, to a place where I could smile and there was joy. So that in itself is worth the loss of him and the pain that I went through with the loss of my mom. But when I say it's worthwhile, those memories are the worthwhile, not his loss, not my mom's loss, but the memories, because it was somatic. I could feel it. I could feel his presence. And it really was magical and so loving. So, as I said before, maybe you've experienced loss, or maybe life's challenges have made it hard to show up in relationships fully. But there is such a thing as self-connection. And that is the foundation of all relationships. At the heart of my work, which is transforming the limited version of yourself, really about, connecting to your core wound, because your core wound really is your gift. This is a belief that connection belongs with self-trust. And this season, if you're feeling isolated, I encourage you to turn inward. Take a moment to reconnect with your inner world, the intuitive guidance that always knows your next right step, because there is one. And when you connect with yourself, you break through the noise of holiday expectations, and you'll find the quiet strength within. This inner trust becomes the anchor that allows you to navigate even the most challenging emotions. For me, learning to trust myself was a huge turning point. It showed me that I didn't need external validation to feel whole. I could create a sense of belonging and warmth within, even during the loneliest times. And this is the essence of self-connection, a gift that only you can give yourself. The next thing is connecting with others, even at a distance. Connection with others doesn't always mean physical presence. During holidays, especially right now during Christmas, there's a tendency to focus on who's around us or who isn't, but connection goes beyond that. It's about the energy we bring into our interactions and the intention we set to be fully present. I've experienced holidays where I felt disconnected, even in a room of a lot of people. But I've also had moments of profound connection through something as simple as a heartfelt conversation or a kind gesture. When I was a flight attendant, I used to fly during Christmas. I used to fly Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I did it to share with others that were in a hurried stance to get from point A to point B, sometimes lonely, sometimes stressed, sometimes struggling because they were going to see somebody who was on their way, through trials and tribulations and going to pass away. And I did it to be with those people. And I loved it. We would decorate the aircraft. We would have mistletoe. We would just do wonderful things. And it was really special. And it was very special because it was special for other people other than myself. But it gave to me because of that. So if you're missing loved ones or feeling distant from those around you, remember this. True connection starts with authenticity. When you show up as your most vulnerable and real self, you create the space for meaningful bonds to form. So, as I mentioned about those days when I flew through the Christmas season, it was very special because it was in those moments where connection unexpectedly transformed, right? And so now, trust the flow of life during the holidays. The holidays can be a time of reflection, but they can also be a time of pressure. And I see it, I experience it, I feel it in the stores. I no longer live that, but I see it. Parents hurrying, children worrying that they're not going to get the gifts they want, parents that can't afford the things that children want. There's just so much pressure on the material aspect. I remember when I was in high school, It was shortly again after my mom died. And it was getting close to Christmas. And I used to write articles for the newspaper. And I wrote an article and it was published about this exactly. And this is many, many years ago with regards to children who were not going to get anything but maybe an orange or maybe a sweater. My gift at Christmas time was always a sweater. Now, I don't know the stress that parents go through to keep up with, to give more for children to expect and then almost not even appreciate. But I go, why? What's missing? The connection within the family. So you have to buy your children. You have to buy your children to buy their love. Now, this might get a lot of feathers ruffled, but you know what? That's okay. Because maybe that pressure on the children wanting those things is coming from the parents wanting to give those things when in fact they're only wanting to buy their children's love. Maybe it's time to really look at that. Where's your connection with your children missing? Because obviously it is. So maybe you're feeling like life hasn't turned out the way you'd hoped, and you're carrying the weight of unmet expectations in your life, and then you project them onto your children's life. So this is where the whole concept of being connected to yourself first so that you can connect with others next is so crucial. And this is about trusting the flow of life, even when it feels uncertain. And during this season, I invite you to pause and notice the small moments of beauty around you, the sparkle of lights, the warmth of something so simple as a cup of tea, or a brief but meaningful interaction, a smile in the store at someone who may not be smiling, but yet when you smile, they might smile back. These are life's little reminders that connection is everywhere, even when it doesn't look the way you might expect. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if the path ahead feels unclear. Connection to the flow of life means embracing the present moment and allowing yourself to be guided toward what's meant specifically for you. So, as I close for today, and for those of you listening, I want you to take this time to ask yourself, how can I nurture connection in my life this season? It might be as simple as reaching out to someone who needs it, or showing yourself the kindness you often give others. If you're unsure where to begin, start with your inner core, your inner self, connecting to source, connecting to spirit, connecting to whatever you believe in as a higher power or God. And just let it lead you to actions and relationships that will truly nourish you. Make your holiday not just about giving gifts, but about giving presence, your presence, to yourself and to those who may feel unseen, and to the flow of life that continues to guide you, even when you feel lost. So again, to those of you listening, I see you. I truly honor your journey. And I hope this message inspires you to take that first small step toward connection, connecting, reconnecting with yourself, reaching out to someone you care about, or trusting the flow of life to bring the right people and opportunities your way. Remember, no matter where you are, the magic of connection is always available to you. You just need to open your heart to receive. So thank you for joining me on Colli Talks Transformative Conversations. Let's carry the light of connection into this season and beyond. And until next time, stay warm, stay hopeful, but most importantly, stay connected. So for now, love and soul hugs, and may you sleep well.